Hello from the Yarn Closet in St. David, Arizona. I'm Laura. Some of you know my ongoing hair issues. So today I didn't do anything with it. You know how your hair is almost always kind of wavy, curly when you get out? I tried to enhance that. It felt like it took more effort than to just blow dry it and let it be straight. And I don't know if the end result is cute. It's certainly messy. I'm Yarn Closet AZ for Arizona on Instagram, and I'm so happy to be done with the holidays. Are you happy to be done with the holidays? Ours was good, but we had a really different attitude going into it this year. It was about making memories and valuing the time spent with people, which should be every year, but somehow isn't. And as far as the new year goes, I'm not that person. I make resolutions all the time. Now, I did make some 2002 plans earlier in like November. I'm struggling with them, like the limiting the shopping and the yarn buying and the clothes. I did buy an extra pair of pants for my son, but you know, kids and they're growing, I don't think that should count. But for me, no. And I've made a number of carts for yarn, but I've not purchased any. Is somebody stuck in my bedroom? Are you stuck in the closet? You want to go in the closet? That was apparently my three-legged cat wanted to go in the closet. Maybe there's a bug in there. I don't know. Go kill it. So today is going to be a fun episode. It's going to be more structured. I promise. We're going to talk some cat shenanigans. We're going to talk some needle review. We're going to talk about some apps and a couple of patterns. Oh, okay. Can you see this? That's a little tiny kitten, vice grip of a mouth, right through my nail. But we managed to trap the, okay, I don't actually like wearing this thing, but I like it. Because it is much easier for me. I'm legally blind. It's much easier for me to go out in public if I am going out and not have to bring my phone and know that I can text and call from here and not worry about setting it down or losing it. I got my son one that's just the Verizon phone for kids because it was way cheaper for the same exact reason. He's on the spectrum. And so he'll take his phone to like play in the car maybe if it's a long drive. But to know that he's not going to lose it and he can still make that contact in case of an emergency is huge. But anyway, today I trapped the last 2 adults from our cat colony and 3 of the 6 baby kittens. Because you got to let the babies get big enough to get fixed. We trap, neuter, release. Sometimes we find homes for them because I think most of them don't want to actually be on the streets. We moved in here and they had let their house cat out, or it had gotten out and they just never encouraged it enough to get back in, and it was not fixed. One cat, she'd recently had kittens, 6 kittens. That's turned into 18 adult cats that we fixed. We've managed to get 4 off the street so far. No, 5, because of the 3-legged cat. And my husband does not know this, but at least Ringo. So Ringo was a set of twins, a boy-girl pair of twins. They looked Siamese, but they had ringtails. And they were from that original 6 kitten group. But he kind of got kicked out of the colony because most colonies are females and like 1 or 2 males. But he got kicked out of the colony from this new male that came in, Jeff. Jeff. We didn't name him. He came from some neighbors. Because a lot of the neighbors here just keep having kittens. They don't really make an effort to feed them or whatever, but they want them around for the pest control. So anyway, these 2 cats from last year, only one of them is still here. The female's gone. And the male got kind of kicked out. And he's been coming in the back way for me to feed him every few mornings. And he's just all of a sudden like not feral. I can pet him, I can brush him, I can clip stickers out of his fur, I can pick him up. He was not happy when I put him in the kennel. But what my husband doesn't know is he might just end up being one more of our inside cats. Oh my God. We have 3 inside cats. I'm debating if we shouldn't allow for some indoor-outdoor cats. I do flea and tick them every month. I mean, they're clean. So I don't know how exactly to go about this and to broach it with my husband, but I believe there's maybe 4 cats that would easily be indoor-outdoor. He doesn't like them in his wood shop. That's usually where they come in to get out of the sun or the cold or whatever. But they want to get into the house. And we do have a cat door set up in this back room, so we can kind of segregate and just give them one room off the house. And I don't think it's such a bad idea. But, you know, he just gets annoyed. My thing is, we're still feeding them. I still put cat litter outside because I don't want them pooping in my garden. And they use it. And then wherever I dump the leftover cat litter is where they go to outside to then poop, which is why you do litter outside. People think I'm nuts. But once we get to the point where we're not having kittens show up every few months, it's not as necessary because the older ones like know that I want them over here by these evergreen trees and not over by the garden or the roses. It's all just a training thing. It's just an effort. People, it's just an effort. Life takes effort. If you want certain outcomes, you have to make an effort to get there. And I would like more subscribers. I would like more friends here. This is one of my happy places, and I'd like it to grow. So I know I need to make more effort, but my reserves are not great. So I mentioned this in my last, the Prim needles with the little bulbous tips, and they're triangular shaped. Now I've used square needles, textured needles before. So I also got this. I could not find anything other than a 14-inch, which, here's the deal. When I use straight needles, I don't need them to be 14-inch. I need them to be 8. But look at this. They clip together. They only clip together at the very top and at the very bottom. But they clip together, and you can clip over your loops to secure them, which I think is fabulous. I've tried them both out. I am not as big of a proponent of the big, long needles, so I'm not a huge fan of these. They will go into a giveaway. If you are a long needle person and want to give it a shot and you want to enter one of my giveaways, when you make a comment that you are a long needle lover. Just dropped it in the giveaway box. Let's see. Ow, my thumb stinking hurts. I mean, it punctured through my thumbnail in, I think, 2 spots, but I did soak it, so nursey people, don't worry. I did soak it in hydrogen peroxide for 20 minutes. Then I took a shower. It was completely clean. And then after it was completely clean, it seeped enough that blood and stuff was coming out. So I know that it's enough of a hole that as it bruises and maybe swells, it'll get out. Well, who did this? Who did this? So I used the long needles with same size as with the circular ones I have. Yeah, this is not a great panel. I really thought it'd be so fun to do some garter stitch and have kind of like a tank that's kind of stretchy. Getting there, not so fun. I've made a couple mistakes. But as far as I can tell, I don't think there's any real difference in the look of the stitches, the size, the look, my tension really. So I do like the weird little tip. It seems very easy. You would think, oh, this is not going to be easy. You want super sharp. Well, super sharp, I poke my fingers. I'm able to pick up the loops so easy with these tips. It makes no sense to me. I don't understand it. I don't really like the triangleness of the needle itself. I don't know that that part's necessary. It doesn't seem to ergonomically help me that much. I do like square needles for ergonomics. Well, what are you doing in there now? Just had to go in there because I had it open? Okay. I have chip by my feet. I have pumpkin by my feet. I don't know where baby is. Angel's in napping. Sadie's over there. Something Magic Heel. You probably see it on Instagram. This woman came up with this Magic Heel pattern, and her sock pattern, she's got a generic one, and she's got some cabled ones and some other patterned ones. So I was playing around with like sizes for myself, and what it is, and I've seen this before in free patterns. It's just a stretchy, straight expanse. Now, you have to understand, if you're going to just rib on the back, you can't just do this much. You have to do quite a bit more than you think. And there is some calculation and stuff that she went to. So I think it is worth Acorn something. I think it's worth looking into her patterns and purchasing them. Even though you might find something on Ravelry. The one that I found on Ravelry years ago for kids was free, but didn't have the calculations in it. And so I never quite understood what I was doing, and I never did enough. I don't know how it lasts. Like, is it stronger? Is it going to wear out faster? My socks wear out incredibly fast. I just burn through them. Burn through them. See this? See this? See this? There's another one up here. I mean, the other day I literally spent an hour and now right next to where I've already done these two is getting thin. I think it's because I live in Arizona, so there's sand and grit like all over everywhere. And if I walk around just with my socks on, which I do all the time, that it just does that. I would like some comments on the hair. Tell me what you think. Oh, in a nice way, in a kind way. If you don't like it, you can express that in a tactful manner. I'm not sure that I like the product that I put into it. I don't know that that helped anything. So that's also something I've been knitting and enjoying, because I'm definitely going to use that on kids, because kids' socks are so annoying because they grow out of them. By the time you get a pair made, they grow out of them. I am still waiting on my update to my Dean & Bean sock machine, but the end of this month will be 4 months. So I would think that I'd be getting it. I know some other people have gotten theirs. I just can't wait. One thing I did the other day is some fingerless mitts with little bits of sock tubes that I had left. Now here's the fun thing. You know how I made a bunch of these with like the folded collars and some of them were textured and whatever. And these are just the cocoon sweaters. Well, I wear more of these than anything else. And now I really like this folded. But I've slammed out a bunch of them that are just rolled, that I've done nothing. I literally make a big triangle or a rectangle and seam it. So I thought, what if I just made some really basic fingerless gloves? I mean, within 2 days, I've got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I made 8 pairs. And I used some of my tiny tube sections. Don't ask me the yarns. I don't know. Some of them are 64s. Some of them are 60s. This one is a Knitty Boo from a Lefty Knitters podcast. One of her yarns. So this has just rocketed my gift stash, which got depleted over the holiday. I'm trying to make some simple tanky style sweaters. So I've got a front and a back panel, and this is much more lightweight, and this is an acrylic, solely acrylic. This is a wool mix, so this is much denser. So I'm going to put those together and see what happens. There's a couple mistakes on the second panel, and I just couldn't. Like, do I fix the mistakes, or do I just recrank the panel on my knitting machine? I don't know. You know, you make a mistake, and sometimes you just have to set it aside before you fix it. Because I don't know about you, but I end up having that, like, knitting blah after the holidays. Because no matter what we say, I think we all push ourselves a little bit at the very end. Like, I want to start one of my yarn quantities of chunkier wool sweaters, hand knit. But I seriously don't have the energy to pull out the yarn swift, even though my yarn crank is right here. And, oh, this is a gift that I got. It's the Prim I-cord machine. Now, the weight on the bottom that comes on it is, in my opinion, dumb. Okay, so it comes with this weight, this detachable weight. I don't know why I did that, because I found it very hard to detach it. My husband had to do it for me. There we go. But when you're using like fingering weight to put fingering weight through this and tie it and whatever, it's just kind of stupid. Because you want to, if you're making a really long I-cord, you want to move the weight up. Because once the weight hits the bottom, it's not like the ground, it's not functioning anymore. The one thing I do like about it is supposedly you can go fingering to DK. I would say light DK. The hooks almost look big enough to do a worsted. I don't know that it's got the space here to do a worsted. And so what I did is I just took binder clip and a couple of weights, and attach them. And then I can just binder clip the yarn as it comes through. I also had to find one of my old long crochet hooks. This is a tiny Tunisian hook to feed through the bottom to pull the yarn through and then clip the weight on. But I like it. I've made a few cords. Of course, it's faster. The cords, once you get the tension just right, are good. The yarn tends to fall out of this feeder very easily. I've been thinking about, like, how can I get something over it to make it actually more functional? Like, I've thought about just cutting a bit of a straw and making a slit. I don't know if that would help. I don't know. But I do, this is also by Prim, same as the needles. I do really like it. And I've had, I think this is my third brand. This one works. The other two that I've had, they really didn't work. They didn't get me going any faster. They were too clumsy. They constantly were losing stitches. This one, no. It's heavier. It's much more solid. It's well weighted. It stays attached to the side of the table. And it's super kid friendly. Once you get it going, they can just sit there and crank. And then they have this long cat toy. Or you can make knots in it and make it into a necklace or a bracelet or whatever. And I definitely like that. So other knitting news. Oh, I'm going to throw some pictures on. I finally downloaded my row counter. I've used a number of different knitting apps before and crochet apps for making charts, for trying to download my patterns and keep track of things. I realized that in trying to look at this year and minimize foolish spending, it's not that I can't buy a knitting pattern or crochet pattern, but knitting pattern particularly, I need to be able to track where I'm at. That's why I don't use them. I start to use them and then I just fall away and do my own thing because it's so confusing and I lose track of where I'm at. My row counter is the first one that within 10 days I haven't gotten rid of it. I've downloaded a bunch of my patterns right into it. You can download from Ravelry, from your phone, from wherever. And then you have individual row counters for your projects, which is great for me because I lose track of where I'm at with stuff. Even machine knitting patterns. So you can put in not just a purchase pattern, but you can put in your own pattern and kind of keep track of where you're at. So I am trying it with a crochet yoke sweater, which I've never done a yoke sweater. I've started a few of them, never felt real good about it. Most of them I've tried in knitting. But this one I'm doing in crochet. I bought both crochet and the knit, and I might do both. And this is color work. It's 2-color color work. So it's very easy. You're only working with 2 colors. You're kind of switching light color, then dark color, then the light, so that they're not all, unless you want them stacked, for vertical stripes, which maybe somebody does. But it's a scrappy, it's the sea glass pattern. I have no idea who the people are. Not a clue. But I'm going to post a picture at the end of the video of the front picture and page of this pattern, because you use scraps with it. That's part of their thing with it, was it's for scraps. And I was just going through and finding all my different scraps of different weights and collecting them and trying to figure out if I had a decent enough something to donate, or what was I going to do? because by the end of the year, they take up a lot of space. And I thought, you know, maybe once a year at the end of the year, I do a scrap blanket or a scrap project. Scrap blankets, I've never finished. They're too knitsy. These patterns, you use magic loop on, or magic knot on the knitting one. So you're not weaving in all the ends. And here with crochet, you just crochet over. So you're not weaving in a bunch of ends at the end. So let's see if this comes to fruition. Ow, my thumb hurts so bad. Okay, I've got a bruise forming and swelling right here. And base of my fingernail. If I lose my fingernail, I'm not going to be happy. That'd be kind of unpleasant. And I did, once I started working the 2-color, which I don't do like a whole sweater of, I've done chunks of to throw some color into a piece. I pulled out my little thing that I have that I put on my thumb to kind of keep the color yarns separate. And I thought, I'm going to get the different ring. And then I thought, why? Why? Because that's another $10 you don't need to spend. So, I would like to hear back from you about my hair, about your plans for 2022. Is there something that you've never done, like a yoke sweater, that you want to do? Because I totally understand the need to try something new, and sometimes you've got to make it a goal. So I will be sending out some prizes, probably 3 or 4. I'm going to have the needles in there, the long ones. I'm going to have, remember how I talked about, oh, these are not the square ones. This is a 16-inch Nitpicks short interchangeable needle set. It's the Radiant Wood, 3.5 to 6 millimeter. You've got the end stoppers and the little key thing. 2 cords. They make 16-inch. I don't need as much as I've managed to accumulate. And so I'm going to pass on. I also have a Nitpicks Try It needle set. It contains a 4 millimeter 4 square majestic wood tip and a 4.5 millimeter nickel plated tip. 24, no, this is the 40-inch cable. Yep. Now, these are actually square. And out of the various kinds of square tips, I like these 4 squares. I like them. And part of why I'm sending this on is because I want somebody else to learn about them and like them. So, 2 needle set. I've got a, this is, remember how I said textured? This is an Addy novel. It's a novel rocket, 40 centimeter, 3.75. See how it's textured? It's kind of square and textured. I actually like these too. The tips are more blunt. They're not the really sharp Addy tips. Okay. I love Kate Celine Salon, whatever. She's from England. So it's hard to get her stuff over here now. But I have a mini set. Red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. Speckled mini set. I believe these are 20s. These are not 10s. These are 20s. 2. So you've got 100 grams right here. And this is to put on your wrist. You put your mini as you're knitting. It unscrews. I love these. And I have an extra one. And it works really well for minis. Like if you're doing toes, heels, or cuffs on socks, this works really well. My thumb hurts so bad, guys. It is so hard to do anything with that thumb. Thank God I have a crochet project because, oops, can I have my husband fix this? Use them while you can, right? Oh yeah. There may be some random skeins of yarn in your prizes. Here's a little darning kit. It's got a lovely bent needle tip. It's really cool couple of stitch markers or place markers. One's got the little sugar skull, little heart tag scissors. That's going to go into one of these. These are bras for your cakes of wool. They do work. I just find them knitsy. This is a needle keeper in chickens because we have chickens and we love our chickens. They're so stinking cute. And it has a bunch of snaps so you can put your DPNs in it. But if you're working on a project, you can also take your 2 needles from your circular project and there's 2 snaps close together and 1 further apart. Some people figure out a way to use this as like a needle stopper. I'm not good at that. I can only use those plasticky, like shoving a pencil eraser on the end of your needle kind of thing. And that's all that I can do. This is a magnified, marked thing to read your gauge. 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, and by ½ inch sections. It works. It works quite well. You can set it right on your work. And guess what I love but don't really use? I love this. But I find that my darning needs to be more comprehensive. I'm getting to the point where I may knit socks and then just re-knit right away before I wear them a big rectangular section, like almost double knit, almost sew it. Almost double knit it that way, right over top of to help reinforce my stuff. So if you've been following the darning craze, this is a darning loom. It works very well. If I can find the instructions, I'll send them with. Otherwise, you can look it up online. There's a YouTube video for everything. So this is some of what will be going out in the prizes. So maybe the darning loom and the needle and scissors and little thing. And maybe a couple of needle things together or separate. How did I do that? My thumb hurts so much when I do this. Okay. Whew. I mean, what am I going to do today? And then the Kate Selene, S-E-L-E-N-E. So the way you enter, subscribe and like, comment. You can follow me on Instagram and comment on one of my things and say you want to be entered into the podcast giveaway if you don't want to do it on YouTube. But the first choice is always comments to the videos. And tell me something. Tell me something about what you like the best, about me, about the podcast, about the prizes, about my hair, or what you think would make my hair better. This is what I've come to. Okay, for a minute, I really did like, and I like it a little bit better when it's kind of curled under and just straight. But apparently my husband thinks that makes me look a bit old lady-ish, whatever. And I have it a little bit shorter in the back, which I like, sort of, because I like not seeing a big clump that comes down, because when you actually cut it across, it kind of feels like it comes down. I definitely don't like that I put a lot of product in today because I can feel it. I don't like that. But I'm going for longer, but more shaped, so I don't have a triangle head anymore. That's what I'm going for. But I'm going to grow it out and have it be a little bit more shaped so I don't quite have the triangle head. See, I always end up parting naturally right in the middle. And the way that I should try to forcibly part my hair is like this. So anything that falls down goes over this side because I can't see out of it anyway. See, doesn't even affect my vision. Ay, ay, ay. Should I have the indoor-outdoor? Or should I just incorporate the cats that want to be in? Because it's not like any of them that have come in so far even want to go out. They sit by the door, they like to look, but they're not going back out there. They might go right out on the patio and like watch for a minute while I sit out there and talk to my husband while he's smoking. But then they're coming right back in. Oh, my thumb. Okay. Look with your heart first, not your eyes. Trust me, it'll actually get you further in life. See you next time.